All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back on Magic or Science Podcast. My next guest is back again. His name is Mr. Joshua, aka Joshua, aka Joshi. Super cool guy, very knowledgeable about quantum leaps, which we talked about last time. This time we're actually in his meditation room, and he's just sitting there comfortably on this meditation stool, as you could say. Christian
Pillow. Yeah,
pillow.
pillow.
How often do you meditate?
Once a day, at
Once a
least.
day?
Yeah.
Like how long?
Varies. Just
Okay.
whatever I feel.
Okay.
Probably 30, 40 minutes.
Consistently every day.
Mm.
How does that feel? How do you feel that's changed your life?
Well, um, basically because my mind is always clouded by egotistical thoughts that just like beat myself up to improve my mood, first and foremost. Like, I'm just a happier person in general,
Yeah,
no
me
matter.
too, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you meditate like an
yeah,
hour plus, right?
yeah. It's mostly like 2 hours, hour and a half to
Yeah.
2 hours a day. Yeah, but it's consistent. It's not like 2 hours at the same time. Sometimes
Right.
it is. But I feel like when I meditate 2 hours at night, the next day I don't really feel like meditating. In the morning,
Mm.
I'll do it that night. But yeah, it does make me happier. It makes me less reactive
Oh yeah,
to
for
the
sure.
outside world. Like if people cut me off or piss me off,
Mm-hmm.
or like even if you cuss at my mom, I'm not really gonna react. I like to
Mm-hmm.
be more proactive, you know.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I feel like it's working somehow.
For one thing, I feel like I'm more aware of whatever's going on in my own like thoughts. How much people like other people complain. Like it's so surreal, just like hearing someone just like you like you hear someone just like talking about like someone cutting you off or anything like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Like people just seem to focus more on
They do, bro.
negativity. Like it's
Yeah.
so weird.
I'm listening to a podcast with this guy named Bruce Lipton.
Hmm.
He's like the father of modern epigenetics.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah. So this guy's the one that invented it, and he's all like we're all programmed since we're little kids, and we have a lot of negative programming. I
Yeah,
mean, one program could be like you walking, like you always want to hang on to that program. That's
yeah,
a good program. But a lot could be like your dad's poor,
yeah,
and you're gonna be poor because he's taught you a lot of bad things in life.
yeah.
And you're unconsciously unaware of it, but you know it's there. So like you're like you have to work hard in life, and life is a struggle, and you don't get things easily. All that bullshit.
Right.
People that program into you is like how people live. So you need to just unprogram yourself from that
Yep.
because life really isn't hard, bro. It's pretty easy. People just complicate it.
Yep.
Yeah, you do that to
Unnecessarily
yourself.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like I was just moving into my new home, and some guy came and helped me. He's like, "Dude, I thought we were gonna be here for hours." I was like, "No, I just need you to help me with a desk." He's like, "This is the easiest move ever." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't really have much." And he's like, "Yeah, but you know, I thought you would have so much more." I was like,
Simple
"Do I
lifestyle.
do I need it?"
Right.
The answer is no. So but it just made my life simpler.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah,
That's the way to be.
yeah,
Simple
I agree.
life is
Simplicity.
simplicity itself. Yeah, same here. I like when because I have this meditation room, but when I wake up like 5 o'clock ish
Every day?
every day.
You
Yep.
do.
Hmm.
Because sometimes during work, you're like half asleep in the morning meetings.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. So, uh, I just like wake up, splash some water in my face or whatever, and I'll just do whatever I feel. If I just like do it in my bed or
Meditate.
yeah,
So you do it right when you wake up.
yep,
Try to do
right,
it before you splash water in your face, because that'll wake you up. Because right when you wake up, you're in that theta state. You're still half asleep. That's the best time to meditate.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So try that.
Okay, I
Or
will.
better yet than that, you could do like affirmations or like hypnosis, because you're already in that
Hmm.
zone. So if you want to program your mind for like positive things,
Oh yeah,
like you have abundance of money, you have abundance of health, that's probably the best time to do it. Or right when you're about to knock out.
yeah, I
Yeah,
will.
try that.
I will for sure. Another thing that I've actually found is helped me like quantum jump into like better lifestyle for myself is reconnecting to like we discussed previously, like forgiving oneself and like getting to know oneself.
Yeah.
Is connecting to water. So I actually get in the shower and just sit like cross-legged style as the water's just like pouring.
Hot water?
Tempered water, so
Okay.
nothing that's gonna make my heart race
Mm-hmm.
a little quicker. So like tepid, something like that. And just by doing that, I actually got a reading of a past life um,
Sweet.
of this lady who lived in the 1860s,
Okay.
who I guess married an Aborigine. It was a white lady, and I don't know, it was kind of surreal, and just kind of feeling the oppression of, I guess, the English Empire coming in on their land and actually forcing them to go
The
everywhere.
British Empire?
Yeah,
Yeah.
British Empire
Okay.
coming in and just kind of forcing them. So she kind of moves all over Africa with her tribe, but it was just kind of a reminder that through all that hardship, like we got it easy.
Big time,
And
bro. When
yeah,
people are like, "Oh man," now like when they see something in the news, I mean, because the news is pretty negative,
yeah,
they're like, "Oh my God, it's the worst time in history to be alive," and that's a lie. It's the safest it's been now since
mm-hmm,
it's ever been in the history, ever.
yep,
It's safer now, right now, today. Because think about it, 150 years ago, I could literally walk into your house and shoot you and take your land, take your wife, take your cows, and it's mine. And no one could do a goddamn thing about it
mm-hmm,
because that's just how it is.
yeah,
Now there's laws, dude. The military, I mean, the government will come after you. There's laws that could sue you.
right,
I mean, that's if I live, but there's laws. Modern technology has helped. I mean, yeah, they're like modern technology is evil. There's actually a good part to it too, bro. It's
yeah,
helped save a lot of lives.
it sure has. I know that like people just focus on like
The
the things
negative.
that are coming down, like coming down the pipe, whatever.
You're watching the
And
news too much.
yeah,
That's
to
just what it is, bro. Clickbait.
yep,
What's the scariest thing with they keep you hooked? They never said, "Oh yeah,
yeah,
this lost puppy was found online and reclaimed to their little boy." Yeah,
yeah.
nothing like that. You won't see that in the news.
You don't see that in the news because it's all about controlling, the masses to be
Who do you,
able to think that they're not in control.
I agree. Who do you think is trying to control the masses?
Who is trying to control the
Yeah,
masses?
you think it's other people? You think it's entities? You think it's aliens? Your personal opinion, bro. We're just going off of the
Oh
spectrum.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, according to the law of one, that material that I brought up a couple podcasts ago.
Yep.
Um,
Your personal beliefs,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I'm more of a student, really,
but
and you can
it's
just take your own take on it. But I think it's really interesting to consider that when there's a polarity of decision making that you make,
polarity, like
yeah,
equilibrium.
so you make a decision, and it either has a positive attraction or negative attraction, and entities that come from all the same source and everything more focus on self-serving themselves. So
Even the positive
yeah, so
ones.
there's an entity called the Orion Group um, that is made of a bunch of different entities from other dimensions that
It's like a corporation of entities, or
yeah, yeah, it's like a corporation
like an evil corporation.
that focus on control. So
And
I'm sure there's all sorts of entities that are tied to it, but
what do you think is the point of the control? Just to feed off of your energy.
uh, yeah, basically just make you think that you're lesser than.
You're lesser than they are, or
Yeah,
you're lesser than yourself, and you're not even aware that they're there.
yeah, it's like constant whisperings in your head that
Yeah.
because we're all infected by the ego in our head, and we all listen to it subconsciously on some level, and these entities will constantly just trying to um, pour these messages into, kind of feed the ego that level of response that you're going to think that you are negative.
Let me ask you: have you ever heard of the theory, the luge farm theory?
The luge farm theory. Ah.
So it's pretty much that same thing, where apparently we live in this holographic universe,
Mm-hmm.
Everything's holographic. That I buy into, but this is a little harder to swallow. That we're kind of being farmed, like in the Matrix, for our energy.
Mm.
Not just like our like physical energy, but it's more like a spiritual energy,
Mm-hmm.
and it is this very complex egg machine.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow the edges in it, where it's this egg shaped thing where we're just being farmed for energy, dude. It's kind of hard, bro, for me trying to like understand it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm doing these different meditations where even the CIA looked into this. It's called the Gateway Experience.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of it?
Mm.
It's this place called the Monroe Institute in Virginia,
Okay.
where they have you heard of like psychic spies and stuff like that? Where the government like whatever like hired them like remote viewing and stuff like that for
Yeah,
spying.
like Man Who Stares at Goats.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But that's based on facts, like real facts. It's
Right.
not that funny.
Right. Right.
So this is the guy that invented it, but his theory was that we live in a holographic universe, and we could kind of break free from that, and we
Hmm.
could create and life just becomes easier because instead of you just trying to work really hard to struggle, you just naturally attract wonderful things to you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. What's really interesting that I'm learning how to uh, do is actually becoming more independent, not under the government, but more of as a sovereign person. Because when you're born, uh, you know, the government just like assigns you a birth certificate, right, with your name on it, capital letters. I am Joshua Thompson, so I am this entity that immediately the government just like tricks you, think that you're owned essentially, and these are in the government. It's a corporation that was built off of dead corporations, I guess.
really,
Yeah. Um, so it's something that they actually claim that you are the most valuable asset, but they don't want to know how valuable you actually are.
you are very valuable.
Right. So apparently there's like some. I have to look it up and find out a way to do it, but you can actually find out your actual value um, as a person with your social
Really?
security number. Yeah.
You mean like the social credit?
Yeah. So apparently, if you actually go in and um, get a like a credit from a bank,
Yeah.
um, so you're saying the bank's saying that you are actually in debt, but actually, because of how valuable you are
That's
at
a
the time
human.
of your birth,
Mm-hmm.
they're actually giving you your own money. Kind of a weird concept, huh?
That not really because in Southern Arabia and Dubai, when
Mm-hmm.
kids are born, they automatically have $1 million worth of crude oil to their name. When they turn 18, they get it.
Wow.
And this is because over there they like helping people, their own people, not everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still committing like genocides, to Yemen and other countries.
Yeah,
But they
horrible
start,
stuff.
yeah. But they start helping. They like helping their own people because they
Mhm.
have so much money. They just
Yeah.
give it away to their own
Mhm.
people. So they have that. So it's not really a foreign thing for me.
Mm.
But what you said is, but I wasn't born in this country, so.
Well, I mean, it's all an interconnected thing that,
But who's in charge of rating you?
of rating me.
Yeah, well, think about it.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
like you're born and you have a certain value to you. Someone has to put that value,
Yeah, dude.
right? Let's just say like me, we're at work. Some plan is better than a different plan as far as like health insurance, and we know it.
Oh yeah.
You know those D-SNP plans.
Yeah.
I rate that very highly because I know it's good for the client, and
Oh,
they
for
know it's
sure.
good for the client. Maybe
Yeah.
they don't know yet, but they will, because
Eventually.
they don't pay for it.
Yeah.
But the point is, who rates me, dude? Like seriously, if my kids are born here, like they mean the world to me.
Yeah.
But to someone else, it might be worth like $200,000.
Right. Right.
Who's in charge of rating that?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I need you to
Uh,
find out more.
I am gonna be doing more research into this because the concept of how valuable you are is, yeah, as you said, like we're living in a matrix, but it's not so much as we're plugged into the matrix, but it's the matrix that's actually plugged into us. So we are actually the reality that is fake in that sense.
Well,
Like
that's
we're
what.
we're projecting this fake reality.
Yeah, we are, and we're all buying into it.
Yeah.
There's this thing called, it's not perception. It's what they call it. It's perceived perception, or I'm sorry, it's not reality. It's perceived reality.
Perceived reality.
It's not reality for things that really are. It's how we perceive it.
Yeah.
Every single person, and we all buy into the same reality, to a different sense or not. Or maybe you see a crazy person on the street.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking nonsense, but maybe that person's not so crazy.
No.
Maybe you're the crazy one for not seeing, behind the curtain.
Right.
Like seriously, like we're in this room, we don't really know. That's why I'm doing these meditations called the Gateway Experience.
Yeah. To talk to. Well, I don't know what that is.
Dude, it's this different thing where first of all, like you calm your body, and then you lose your feelings in your body.
'Kay.
So your mind is very sharp, and then you go through some different.
So you're very,
steps.
very relaxed.
You're beyond very relaxed. We're to a point where I meditate, and I'm an avid meditator. I've been meditating for years.
Yeah.
After about 45 minutes to an hour, my left leg gets numb. This way, when I do these steps,
Mm-hmm.
my leg doesn't get numb anymore. So I'm evaluating myself
Nice.
afterwards. So I can tell it's working.
'Kay.
And there's this thing called focus 10. You're in a focus 10 state, and then you go into focus 12, where you can like kind of like astral project or leave your body. You
'Kay.
go to your higher self,
Mhm.
and then there's focus 15, where kind of stop time. You're like because at that point when I'm meditating, like an hour just flies by. I'm like, what
Yeah.
happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have to set timers to make sure you don't like lose track of time? 'Cause
Yeah.
you could be like,
Yeah.
you'd be like, yeah, an hour passed, but no, it's actually 3 hours. Holy cow!
That's happened too. Yeah.
I
And then
bet.
there's something called Focus 21, where you could perceive into the past.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's something called, I haven't gone that far, but it's like Focus, I think like 30 or Focus 40, where you perceive into the future. But it starts getting trippy. But the whole thing is we live in this holographic universe. And the thing is, the CIA and the United States military in the 60s and 70s, they're training their, I guess, like recruits
Mhm.
to study this stuff. And then they tasked this one guy, General McDonald. Douglas McDonald is his name.
'Kay.
He was general, legitly, dude, in the 80s. And they're like, we're tasking you to figure out what the hell's going on. And he came up, he's like, this was damn near one of the most hardest things I've done in my life. He's like, I had to look at this, where if everyone understands this, it will unite all religions of the world. This is like documented. And it just goes down the
80s,
rabbit's hole even more. He's all like, we live in a holographic universe. He's like, that's just where all evidence is proving that. And all religions, they have certain things in common that they talk about this. And even though this is new to the Western world, the Eastern world has been talking about this for thousands of years, like Buddhism, Zen,
Mm-hmm.
Zen Buddhism and things like that.
Yeah.
And like even Judaism or whatever. And yeah, people could literally like change their own past, change their own future. And then like there's this one exercise where you have a wand, where you develop your own wand, and you have access to this wand whenever you want, just in case there's entities. And by the way, there are real entities. They haven't talked about this. They're like you have to create this shield around you. That's a part of like the first part before you get to step 10. Because when you're in this state, you open yourself up to the universe.
Yeah.
You even say, I am more than my physical self. And since I am more than this physical body,
Yep.
I open up my consciousness to the universe.
Beautiful.
And I project myself out to anything that wants to help me.
Yeah.
And understand. And then, but before you
But
do
you have
that,
to set those firm boundaries.
you have to set the shield so nothing can
Yeah.
come inside you. Because
Right.
apparently, like bad things happen. Like things
Right.
attach themselves to you, or
Yeah.
whether they're friends or foes. And dude, this is crazy because me and you talk about it. You know how sometimes you hear from like yogis and like spiritual people, like, did I hear this BS? But when you hear like the government legitly doing this and they spent tens of millions of dollars,
Oh yeah.
you're like, okay, this is pretty real. And yeah, it's helped me. It's helped me calm down.
Yeah. I mean, it's because it feels like
But
they're working on, like, the government's like working
Oh.
on this chess game
So-
that we're not even aware of, that chess game that's being played.
big time, bro.
It's weird.
Here's another thing where it's very effective. So there's this thing called binary beats,
Mhm.
where your right brain and your left brain, it's called hemisync. Your right brain and your left brain, their frequencies are a little off. So there's these binary beats for your right brain and your left brain, where what happens is when they have certain frequencies and they play it long enough, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, your brain wants to sync with that.
Mhm.
So somehow you get your right brain and your left brain to sync together.
Nice.
So you're not just right brain or left brain. Your
Yeah.
brains working together for a common goal, and it
Right.
makes things that much more powerful. So they're like this. The way this works, and by the way, this meditation for me, it's been working, bro, better than anything I've ever tried, and it's easier to get into it because it's like Zen meditators after like 5-10 years of meditating, they could get into this state. But this way, you just put on the headphones, you turn it on, and then your brain just syncs.
Now you just find these programs on YouTube, or where do you go?
You can buy them, bro. There's a institute where you could just fly out to, but yeah, I just found a couple of them on YouTube, and I bought a couple too, just to be fair.
Awesome.
Yeah, there's like training exercises that you do. There's different ways. There's people that could like astral project, like out of body experience. There's people that could remote view, which I don't really care about those things, but just the fact that like you can heal yourself by just like picturing yourself like there's different like parts of your body, and then like you just put a certain color on it, and it's supposed to heal like 100 times faster.
Mm.
Or like the fact that you calm down, you can project what you want in this world. One thing that's really helped me with is you take a deep breath and you think of this number, whether it's number 12, and then you think of a certain feeling, and then like you know how sometimes you forget people's names and you can't think of it,
Mhm.
like you just picture it and then the name just pops into your head. So memory recall,
Yeah.
tapping into that's really beneficial for me.
Nice.
Or they're like, you know how they say all the answers in the universe are there.
Mhm.
We have them, but we technically don't.
Right.
There's like certain things that you could do where the answer just pops into your head.
Intuitive answers. Yeah.
Intuitive answers, yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of new for me, dude, but it's shocking.
Right.
Like just random answers, like, or like you know how like sometimes you're stuck, should I do this, should I not? Let me sleep on it, and then like somehow the answer comes to you. But this way, it just comes to you, bro. You just ask the
Wow.
universe for it, because you're already like, when you're not in your body, you're really
Yeah.
just like asking the universe.
Yeah.
for things.
No filters are in place that hinders those answers. Yeah.
Yeah. Or and like you have you have a fiber optic network that's gonna get you these answers versus you're doing dial up, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's very interesting. The guy's name is Robert Moreau.
Okay.
He's in Virginia. It's called the Gateway Experience, and they always have these retreats. I'm probably gonna go to it. I still like
Nice.
Joe Dispenza's meditations because they're about love and light, but this is like real shit, bro. Like
Mm.
like people to heal better. I don't
Yeah.
know. It just works, man. Works really well.
Bring them to that alpha state where they can actually.
You're in theta. You're not in
Theta.
alpha.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
alpha state is you're in that flow.
Mm.
Like theta is like where you're in that half dream state, bro.
Right.
That's where all the magic happens. You're in the operating room.
How quick do you think you get to that theta state?
5 minutes,
5 minutes.
literally.
How long did it take you when you first started doing it?
5 minutes.
Really?
Well, because what it is they have the brain. Well, when I first started doing it, because there's certain steps you take.
Mhm.
First, you have to imagine yourself. There's a box, and you open the box. This is your own private box,
Mhm.
and you put in all your problems, all your worries, all your thoughts into this box,
Yes.
and nothing exists. And you close the box, and the box is closed. So you have no problems, no worries.
Right.
Then you push that away. Next thing, you breathe in, you breathe out a couple times, and then you do the protective shield. Then
Yes.
you say the affirmations.
Right.
And then the last thing, you just picture yourself like you have to count from 1 to 10, where something's coming through, your whole body's like kind of shutting off. Once you do that, you're kind of in theta.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So
it takes about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's binary beats that are playing
Mhm.
that help your brain sync up.
Beautiful.
Once you do that, dude, you literally like 5 minutes. Yeah, versus other meditations where like sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. Like the more you do it, of course, you're gonna get it quicker. This way, you just boom. You kind of like you're hacking it, hacking your brainwaves, because your brain wants to sync up to those binary beats.
Right.
I'll send you some, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should. Do you like put links into your
Yeah.
when you post these videos and everything?
Yeah, I should put that link in there.
Yeah.
Damn, I thought I was gonna interview you, but I'm just really passionate about it because I sent it to one of my friends. He's actually a politician in Canada, bro, and he's Muslim. It's kind of weird, and he's very religious, but he's been doing them, and he's like, bro, this is amazing. And he even told the institute, and they're like, yeah, this is they're like, yeah,
Some
just
next
come down.
level.
So me and him might just fly to Virginia and just like just do it for a week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That sounds really good. I want to start getting into that more.
and then I was reading like blog posts. I'm like, dude, this information is out there. Why don't people practice this and just bury their lives? Like, well, first of all, religions like has a war against it because they don't have control over you.
Right.
And second of all, it's just a little too far fetched for some people. Like, What do you mean? There's
Esoteric, yeah.
yeah, esoteric.
They just
Like, what do you mean? I'm in this holographic universe. Like,
right.
like, like this isn't real. My bills don't matter. Like, religion and stuff will collapse overnight. And I mean, yes, the world's not. I mean, yes, they are, but the information's out there, bro.
Yeah.
The information's out there.
Yep. Truth
Um,
is out there.
yeah, the truth is out there. I mean, it's literally out there. It's not even that hard. Nobody's trying to hide it from you. It's literally out there.
Yep.
Like you can go out. Like right now, I'm talking about it right now. I'll post a link. You could go listen to a couple podcasts. Like, figure it out for yourself. But here's the thing, there's a lot of information out there.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really rely what's true or not. But when I see the government really investing tens of millions of dollars in the 70s and 80s, and I'm like, that's a lot of money, bro. And they don't just throw money around like that.
Right. Right.
So I'm like,
There's some viability to it.
a lot.
Yep.
Military
Ooh.
applications, yeah.
That's really
So,
cool.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on?
I think that would be an incredible experience to actually be able to project yourself in a way that would actually extend beyond just this dimension. Because I know that we all exist in like multiple dimensions all at one time.
Different versions of us?
Yeah, like I think there's like 9 different dimensions in this conceivable universe. And beyond that, there's one like governing entity source that oversees it all, higher self, whatever it is.
Really?
Yeah,
Do you think there's someone that just like is in charge of all 9 different realms?
I would say so.
And
Yeah.
what did that person do? He just created us just like a video game?
So I think more of a like a syringe where it's like inserts and then just like and then our consciousness goes into that into like planet Earth or whatever, and it's the higher source that's just sending us in there.
Like
And then
shoot
and
his load into
yeah,
planet Earth?
and so apparently there's a concept called the logos that is the sun basically. But the sun is also a central part of like a galaxy and everything like that. So it's a central body that shines its love and light towards all things. So has very high intelligence that is essentially our higher selves. And one logos, eons ago, came with the concept of what if we actually incarnated third density beings like we are, and swipe their memory. So
What would happen?
yeah, just see what happens at that point, and that's where you'd actually get a division where when we're in this third density reality, we actually it forces us to make a decision to be of service to others or service to self.
Yeah.
So being in that in this third density reality, we finally get a chance to essentially realize our own divinity by sheer like boot camping ourselves, like it's Hell Week. Because when we take away our memory of all the comfort and safety that we know that we're already in by being part of the source, and then just shutting off all memory and connection to it, and then we're like crying and suffering at that point. Like our mind has to develop some sort of like programming, which is essentially where the ego came from.
Do you think people that just devote themselves to themselves in life are usually more miserable than people that just devote themselves to others?
I would say so, yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Because they're alone.
Yeah. I agree with you on the part that they are more in suffering. I just don't know why. I guess they are alone or they're greedy and selfish.
Everything is searching for love, no matter how evil an entity may be. Like they're always any action that's ever done is always in service of love. So when you actually do a service to yourself, trying to control others, they need others to feel that gratification. So, and by causing misery in others, it reflects back into themselves because that's how they feel about themselves. Is they're just miserable. So it's all about what you put focus on.
Yeah.
Which is pretty wild.
So what do you think of the holographic universe? You think that's the thing?
Oh yeah.
There's so much evidence that point to it. There's Dennis Gabor. I don't know if you ever heard of him, quantum physicist.
Mm-hmm.
He even said it that we live in a holographic universe. There's so many other like Max Planck, the father of modern quantum physics
Mm-hmm.
or quantum mechanics. He says that we live in because apparently the Newtonian physics of like solid matter that's just thrown out the door. So like, oh yeah, this was wrong all along. Sorry,
Yeah.
it's all about quantum mechanics. We're all energy
Yeah.
and particles.
Right. We're all just waves of light,
Yeah,
and we want more become aware of that because we all perceive this matrix reality with just our five senses and through meditation and everything.
and
Then we actually
yeah,
realize there's
that's way
a
more, bro.
plethora of more sensors.
Yeah, but
that,
all those crazy people that are talking about this,
yeah.
they're starting to sound less and less crazy.
Right.
Yeah, really, bro. Seriously, because there's more science coming. Like I'm from like this Western world, bro. Like I've never been introduced to this, and I'm just doing my own research, just digging up
Mm-hmm.
on it. Because I don't want to take other people's opinions.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like I don't know. There's something like that turns into religion. It's not your own truth. It's someone else's truth.
Yeah.
And that's a little skewed.
Sure.
Something like wrong with that. Um, and dude, I'm just learning more and more. Like like I stumbled into this the what you would call it the gateway experience. And yeah, men who stare at those are the guys that want to study it from them. And then like the military just came up with like different steps. I think they have a shorter way of doing it than 5 minutes. Like I don't know how, but apparently like you're able to shut off your senses. Once your body's off, your brain
I
is
can for like 3 seconds, right? Like that would be
maybe. Well, here's the thing. So the first couple of times it might take you like 10, 15 minutes, but the more and more you do it, bro, the
Mhm.
more in the zone you're gonna get. And I feel like now when I do other meditations, all I do is the last part where I just picture myself. It's told that focus 10. You just picture the 10, and then like you just count 1 to 10, and like your whole body shuts down, and my body shut off, so I can do other meditations quicker. Because I don't have to go through that steps, of like shutting down my body and then getting in the zone. My body's like
Yeah.
within 5 minutes shut down,
right.
so you're boom in the zone.
Beautiful.
So yeah, and the more and more you do it, the better and better you get.
Yeah, and I mean that would be really cool to actually get to that mental state and actually have your thoughts actually start organizing the matrix that we're living in. Because it is a hologram, but it's a hologram that we realize that we have more control over than anything else.
Yeah, but that's cool because more and more just makes my life fun.
It
Because
does.
guess what, dude? I don't have to struggle. Like,
Right.
oh, work hard in life, save your pennies. Like, no, dude, fuck that. I
Right.
want to have a very joyful, pleasant, fulfilling life full of adventure at every corner. Why can't I
Right.
have that? I can, and I will. I
Mhm.
mean, and help other people along the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
However
mean,
you want to see that, like whether you give them money, you give them advice, you give them a sandwich. Why not?
you become an expression of love
Yeah.
incarnate.
Yeah.
That's essentially what Jesus is all about.
Ooh, look at you going biblical.
Yeah.
Give me an example of that.
Well, off the top of my head, like the harlot that comes to him, who wants to throw stones at her and everything.
Mary?
Mary, yeah, right. He obviously anybody who actually transgressions against another, he always claims that people transgress who. Oh man, I'm just paraphrasing, but um, that's just I
So,
can't even think of like an immediate example.
are you trying to say do unto others as you want done unto you?
Yeah. The whole golden rule.
The golden rule.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like, yeah, because karma has a big play in it. And I've seen some bad people get away with shit. That's
Mhm.
why I don't have a hard time believing karma, but I'm like, dude, those people deserve some of the stuff that should come to them. But I've seen some bad people that got away with stuff. Maybe deep down inside, they end up getting cancer and dying, from being a horrible person.
Well, whether it's in this lifetime or in I believe like the next,
Like-
every karmic reaction is always going to create more of a
like Dick Cheney.
yeah.
He gets 3 surgeries for a heart. Like, where's the justice in that, bro? That guy started a fucking war.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but that's what I mean,
Yeah.
Like really, this guy's getting another chance.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's not such a bad guy. Maybe he's done some stuff that we don't know about. Stop the world war.
Right. right? But in essence, what we're all learning is to, no matter what is going on, holographic or no, we're all learning to just become expressions of the creator, and the creator's all just focused on love. Um, so that basically just means that we don't judge our enemies either. We observe them, and as much as it is to like, make fun of them or anything like that, um, if we can actually get to a responsible level that we are that every single entity ever out there who's done any sort of inconceivable crime, um, that is us.
Okay.
And if it is us, then we can actually be responsible in healing that part of it, just by through pure meditation and just focusing on maybe thinking from their perspective, and then just letting the conscious light and love of the creator just flow through and just heal every part of that. That can be one level that one can be in service to self or service to others. I mean to say.
Or just don't be a dick, bro. That could be another one. You know, that could be it, bro. Like I think, like, I mean, even if you don't want to drive your way to help people, that's fine. Just you don't have to be like a grumpy old
Don't be a grump.
man, or like whatever. Just don't be a dick. I feel like, you know.
Yeah, but from everything I've actually found, if you actually just hold any brother um, in like a negative light, you're holding your own on some level. You are holding your own self against that.
What do you mean if you hold your own brother? Like if you think someone's a bad person?
Yeah, so
Like,
if anybody does anything horrible or negative against you, and you don't forgive,
yeah,
you just hold that against them for forever.
yeah.
Um,
What if I shoot him and I forgive him?
well, then I guess that would be your own karma that you have to deal with. But I mean, if he's coming at you with, you got to defend yourself. You got to do what you got to do. But you're not gonna lie over and just let someone just take control of you. You got to
But
defend yourself, but also.
but the Jedi did that. Obi-Wan is like, if you strike me now, I will be more powerful than ever.
I want to
And
be
what
more like a gray Jedi.
a
Like,
gray Jedi,
yeah,
not
yeah.
the white or black,
Nah, man.
the gray.
The gray Jedi's focus on all powers, light or dark.
And do they harm innocents?
No.
So you mean you want to be the anti-hero?
I mean, if that's how you want to think of it, I suppose. But
Do they stop the villain?
do
the gray Jedi?
they are more focused as like
I didn't even know there was gray Jedi's.
yeah, dude. Like, look it up. It's pretty cool. So basically, gray Jedi's are essentially those entities who aren't part of any sort of organization. They more work as like mercenaries, if anything, but they don't really focus on. They're more like focused on like being a sheriff of like a small town or something like that, or like a planet in of itself.
A sheriff of a planet?
Yeah, dude.
You mean they're the king?
Yeah, something like that, where they just like defend innocence and they just kind of do what they want.
So they do defend innocence,
Yeah,
but they have no problem taking lives.
yeah.
And
I mean, if it calls for it,
and they're against the villain.
like they follow their own code of honor that's not part of any sort of like the Jedi Council or Empire or anything like that.
I
Like,
just want to clear it up. Like if there's bad people trying to harm innocent people, will they step in?
Yeah.
So they're the anti-hero.
Mhm.
I like it.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like, oh, just arrest them, let the law take care of it. No. Just cut that off their head, bro. Just get
Right.
rid of them, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Punisher. Yeah, I didn't even know there was great Jedis.
Yeah, it's in canon. Luke Skywalker actually figured out a way to harness like electric powers and everything through positive light powers. Not using hate or anything like that to access it. He uses it expression of love and of communion with. He does actually get into an aspect of the higher self, and is able to access all sorts of force powers that are negative. They're from the dark side or like choking, whatever it is. He accesses all of it just through realizing his own truth of how to access that without.
By the way,
using
that's a
any hate.
real thing.
Yeah.
Even in the KGB, it's documented. Even the KGB, like remote viewing, you can choke someone.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's a fact. They Joseph Stalin. They were demonstrating it. They
Mhm.
choked someone in a different laboratory.
Whoa.
So whatever America's working on with the remote viewing,
Mhm.
they're like, we need to beat the Russians at it. And then they found out the Russians already were doing this for like 10 years.
Mm.
So it's kind of weird that they kind of found. I'm sure China and other countries are doing it too. But there's kids that are born more aware of this. We could say more force sensitive.
Mhm.
And like those are like the best recruits apparently, because you
Right.
can tell time with it.
Yeah.
It's insane, dude. I'm gonna send you the link, just to listen
Yeah.
to the episode.
I will.
It's like 1 hour, bro, and like I just want to pick your brain. It's
Okay.
insane.
I'll
Yeah.
listen to it. This is one of your recent ones.
No, this is like someone else. They just did a whole documentary on it. It's
Oh,
not even
okay.
a podcast.
Document. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
about the gateway experience. That's
Okay.
how I got into it. I was like, what the hell, bro?
Oh,
So I already
okay.
knew about it, and I was
Okay.
like, but they go deep into it.
Yes. Yes. I'll definitely listen to that.
Yeah, and try not to go down the rabbit hole. Too late.
Too late. Oh man, you just eat this stuff up, man.
I like it. It's interesting, bro. But there's different aspects to it, like remote viewing, where you project your consciousness elsewhere. Like, what am I gonna do?
Mhm.
Spy on my ex-girlfriend? Like, I don't really need that in my life.
Mm.
I really don't. As far as me doing memory recall or calming down my body and stuff like that, yeah, 100%. I want it better. So like, I guess you can pick and choose what you want. You know. It's also like meeting your higher self or meeting other entities. I don't really care to. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care. It's just whatever.
I mean,
What-
you'll naturally know once you actually start developing your more in tune spiritually, what you actually want to start focusing on. So yeah, reviewing or astral projection or whatever it is.
Or hooking up with hot chicks
Hooking up with hot
on the
chicks.
astral
Yeah.
plane or on this plane, whatever.
Astral sex.
I don't know. I guess I don't know if that's a thing, but
Oh, dude, I'm sure there's all sorts of positive sexual energies that you can actually channel into, for sure.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's just energy at the end of the day.
Just
They're
energy.
very potent too.
Yeah.
Cool. That's a great way to end the podcast. Talking about sex. We just went from the Jedi to yeah, that'll work.
Just kind of bounced all over the place. It's great.
I definitely want to have you back, bro. Talk about more quantum leaps and things like that. We talked about it last time, but I want
We just
dive-
kind of study more and
Yeah.
and we'll just come back and
we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about the gateway experience.
sounds good. I'll
Cool.
listen to those documentaries.
Yeah. Thank you so much for jumping on, Josh. Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having me.
And what was the name of that the student you said you were part of? The one?
Law of One.
The Law of One.
Yes.
Talked about that too. I need to look into it a little more.
Yeah.
Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen. Go and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Thank
Peace.
you, sir.